Today's horror story is from Lynn Dees, and it is about a player drops our campaign because he can't accept I'm in a relationship.
Yeah, I kind of peeked ahead a little bit, and I don't think that they're being completely transparent when they just say they're in a relationship. You'll see in a second. So,
Intriguing.
they start with, hello. I wanted to share this story with the sub because this all happened a week ago. It's fresh. It's a fresh one. So we're going to get some passion, I bet. I'm still pretty mad about it.
All
the
right.
featured characters in the story are the DM, a 20-year-old male, my boyfriend. So it's not just a relationship, it's a relationship with the DM. The cleric is
This is how
yeah,
a lot
see
of
what I
RPG
mean?
Yeah, a lot of RPGs horror stories starts exactly like that.
Just like this. So the next person is a cleric, a 20-year-old male, my best friend, and the player in question, maybe former best friend. The mage and ranger are both 21-year-old males, two friends of my boyfriend, the DM, and fighter, 22 female. This must be her, right?
Yeah.
So I, 21 female, have been playing a campaign for almost a year with some friends from university. So now I know they're probably from England because they call it university and we call it college. We usually meet up once a week and we all have great fun playing together, or at least that's what I thought. About 3 months into our campaign, the DM and I started dating.
All
When
right.
this is, I hope we don't get into the spicy stuff.
Is it a good idea to find a boyfriend in your DnD group?
I don't know if it's such a bad thing in the group, but the DM, that's like kind of like dating your teacher, isn't it?
The DM,
I don't know.
he does have a little power,
Yeah, the
Like
power dynamic
authority.
might not be that good, right?
Relationship on the workplace.
Yeah, I think the DM can use it as like a power thing, but they may not. I mean, they may be cool about it. But I think no matter what you do, if one player is dating the DM, all the other players are going to assume they're getting special treatment.
I don't really see why it should be the case, though. Well, we can see where it goes next, but I don't really think that it would change any dynamic in me with the girlfriend if she would be playing D&D. Maybe I would be even harsher.
My wife and daughter both play in my live campaign on Saturdays, and I actively try to murder them every week.
Yeah, I don't think that it should corrupt the dynamic.
It doesn't for me, so I don't see anything wrong with it personally, but I think something's going to go wrong here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a horror story, right? About 3 months into the campaign, the DM and I started dating. All right, when we told the group, nobody was really surprised because they were probably being like completely unsubtle at the table. So nobody was really surprised, and they all seemed pretty happy about it. Like, all right, just keep the PDA to a minimum or we're rolling initiative.
PDA?
But then PDA is public displays of affection.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So keep that to a minimum or I'm rolling initiative. But then over the past few weeks, I began noticing that the cleric had been acting differently around me. When it was just the two of us, everything seemed normal, except when I mentioned something related to the DM. Then the cleric would just go quiet. At first, I didn't read the signs because he was also in a relationship, so I thought it was still a bit strange to him, considering it all kind of came out of the blue. I tried talking to him. I even asked if the DM and I were making the others feel uncomfortable when we were all together. I also asked the other players, but they all said no. He assured me that it had nothing to do with me and the DM dating, and that he had just been going through a rough patch. Okay, that happens. After that, things went back to normal, sort of, and we continued our campaign with no issues until June. During the summer break, I still checked up regularly with the cleric because I still thought of him as my best friend, and we had some serious talks together, but none concerning this matter.
Best friend. It does sound like friend zone.
I was thinking the same thing.
The deep friend zone. Best friend. He is not your best friend. Your best friend probably should be girl.
Probably. I don't know.
It rarely
I've never
works out.
had. Have you ever had like a girl best friend?
Best friend? Never. No.
Never. Me
I
either.
did have some friendship with girls.
Yeah.
But sometimes it still ended up with them trying to hit on me.
Well, because you're irresistible, of course, right?
Yeah, so I don't. So I don't think that it could happen. I lost my faith.
Yeah, I've had friends that were female, but usually it was like couple situations, right? Like I may have met them at work, but when we do things outside of work, it would be with their husband and my wife. So I wouldn't call them like a best friend or anything like that. But it sounds like, I don't know, this guy was in a relationship too, but I think we're going to find out that this guy really didn't want to be in the friend zone and didn't like that this girl was dating the DM.
Still, the fact that he was in the relationship and still being in friend zone, it is messed up.
So fast forward to last week. I met up with the DM, the cleric, and the mage, and after we were back from summer break, the DM asked them if they still wanted to continue the campaign, and they both said yes. Then 3 days later, the cleric texts the DM telling him he was not going to play in the campaign anymore because it was mentally draining him. And even though he enjoyed playing, he still didn't feel like it. About an hour later, the mage, the ranger, and the fighter all text us asking why the cleric was leaving the campaign. He had sent texts to all of them telling him he wasn't coming back to the table, but he didn't text me. So out of pure rage, I texted him and asked what was going on and why he hadn't texted me as well. His reply went something along the lines of,
I knew DM would tell you, so I didn't bother.
Ooh,
this is passive aggression. Yeah,
that's passive aggressive for sure.
Not mature.
No, and that tells me that she's the reason that he's leaving the campaign because of that.
Yeah, he's not handling it well. No. He did the right thing, moving out of friend zone, but not the best way possible.
No.
He could do better than that.
I agree. Yeah. So when I confronted him about this, he basically told me that it wasn't fair that I was dating the DM, that it was ruining his experience as a player, and that I was his best friend, and he couldn't accept that I had grown closer to the DM instead of him, and that I never acknowledged his feelings. Oh yeah, he's full on friend zone.
Acknowledged his feelings. Yeah, especially since he probably didn't tell her about them in the first place.
Yeah. Why is she responsible for acknowledging his feelings? That's icky. I don't like it.
This is dumb.
He even explained that he thought the summer break would help him get over it, but he still couldn't see me with the DM. It's just jealousy, plain and simple. It's ugly.
If it is hard for him to see them together, it is best for him just to leave the campaign. I still think that it is the right move.
Yeah, I think this is the right move. He should leave the campaign if he's having all these feelings. It's probably him that's ruining the campaign, not her, because he has these feelings. It's right that he's leaving. But all this passive aggression and blaming her, this is not a good look. Although he's 20 years old, so he's a baby. He'll learn.
True. He will grow up.
Yeah, he'll grow up. I wasn't really shocked because I'd already figured he was kind of jealous, but it still hurt reading those things because I thought I had been considerate in asking him if he was uncomfortable with my relationship. No friend zone dude is ever going to tell you the truth when you ask him that question. That's a little naive on her part, right? It is. I didn't reply to him because I was too angry, and he sent another text to the DM telling him that he would be back if I left the campaign. Now he's trying to get her. He's trying to get the DM's girlfriend kicked out.
This is completely dumb.
This is bad.
How can you imagine the DM telling his girlfriend that she's leaving the campaign because of one person is jealous? How can you imagine telling it to someone? You have to kick your girlfriend because I'm jealous. Yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
How does the guy even approach this with the DM? Hey, dude, I'm in love with your girlfriend and she is dating you and I'm all salty about that. And I'm going to leave the campaign unless you kick your girlfriend out.
Awesome idea.
If I'm the DM, I'm like, what now? You're in love with my girlfriend. You get out of the campaign.
First of all, let's start with this sentence.
You buried the lead there, buddy. So I was considering actually doing it, leaving the campaign. That's kind of silly. She should not be considering doing that. Because I was so overwhelmed by the situation. But the other players told me that the cleric couldn't force me to leave if he was the one with the problem. So yeah, this is it. Sorry if it looks like random rambling. I just really needed to get this off my chest. I still haven't confronted the cleric, and at this point, I don't think I ever will. But honestly, next week we have the first session of our Act 2, and the DM's roommate is joining us with his Goliath barbarian, and I couldn't be more happy about it. I think you'll be a little less happy about it when you realize you have no healer. Because the cleric is the one that left.
At the comments, so Dice Cursed says, "Oh, so you were supposed to be his girl in a jar in case of not getting laid enough emergency break glass. Yeah. You're well rid of him. Honestly, this isn't even really a D&D horror story. It's a stupid people are stupid horror story that happens to take place in a D&D group instead of another kind of friend group." True. This cleric is unhinged. Absolutely unhinged. At first, he did one right move, but poorly executed, and after that, he messed everything up completely.
Yeah, I didn't like that the girl that was writing the story, though, considered leaving the campaign over this, that she was overwhelmed by the situation. This is a very simple situation. This guy is not your boyfriend. You didn't want him to be your boyfriend. You're dating the DM. This is his problem, not yours. She shouldn't have made it her problem. I get the instinct to do it, but why would she leave the campaign because this guy's being a tool? That's weird.
Absolutely. Well, they do tend to do this on Reddit. Did you notice they're leaving campaign left and right after other people behave improperly? They all just I'm leaving the campaign because he is a jerk. One of the players. Yeah. And nobody wants to play with that jerk, but I'm leaving the campaign. For what reason? What are you trying to prove? And to whom?
It doesn't make the campaign better when the good people leave. But I think that's a DM thing. I think the DM has to see this stuff going on and step in and say, all right, what's going on? And who do I need to kick out of it to get the game back on track?